a lot of things go on in the industry and behind the scenes.
It would be helpful for me. Like, I don't know your story.
And they said it was you who banished me. This has been tough.
Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing fantastic out there. We're going to talk about everything about the film industry and my journeys and my experiences that I've had up to so far, and some lessons that I think a lot of you out there that aspire to be in the industry, that are in the industry, can learn or can benefit a lot from. Now, while you're at it, please like the video and do subscribe if you'd like to get more content. Today I want to talk to you guys about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion. It's going down, and I'm pretty sure that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is a show that a lot of you guys, as I'm sure, as I grew up on the show a lot, man, it's just one of those shows that a lot of people fell in love with. It represented so much, not just to African Americans or to black people universally or to people of color, but the fact that it was a groundbreaking show that I don't have to tell you about if you know what the show is all about. It's the fact that they are having a reunion broadcast on HBO. I haven't seen it. I've seen a lot of clips. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I managed to catch a pirated version of it, like it was uploaded on YouTube for like a couple of hours, and then they received a copyright strike. And it was deleted before I could download it. Damn it. But anyway, I managed to just kind of catch a glimpse of it. I did watch like 30 minutes of it or whatever, and it's going down. But you know what the thing is? It doesn't matter at this point, because what I'm going to talk about, it's not necessarily the show itself, but I am going to talk about a couple of things. So what I am going to talk about is a little something that I think is a life lesson that we can all kind of learn from or pick up from about the stuff that we kind of deal with in the industry. Of course, one of the peaks that a lot of people have been talking about is the reunion and the fall off between Janet Hubert. A lot of you might know her as Aunt Viv. Her presence in the show was very short-lived because of a lot of controversy that was going on. It seems like there were a lot of tensions between her and Will Smith. I've seen some videos on YouTube where she was kind of like calling him arrogant and saying things about him, and it seems like there were tensions between them. Yeah, it seems like there was a lot of back and forth, and there wasn't enough clarity about what was really the problem between the two. And I was happy personally over the fact that they made up, and I've seen clips of them having conversations here and there. You can catch them off on other channels. But anyway, the point of that, they decided to kind of seek closure, and a lot of things go on in the industry and behind the scenes that a lot of you might not be aware of. And if you really want to get into it, especially for actors out there, pay attention, because it's a lot of politics. It was really due to the fact that there are politics that play out. She had a lot of experiences going on behind the scenes. Her family, she talks about her family, and a lot of having an abusive marriage and a lot of stuff going on that she had to deal with. I mean, as an actor, you do have a lot to juggle with: family responsibility, personal problems, personal challenges, and you have to still show up on set and perform, because that's what's expected of you, to perform. And there was a lot of stuff going on, and I heard, from one of the clips that I managed to catch, Will Smith talking about, how now he's a family man. He understands how there was so much pressure to balance the two. Obviously, when you grow up and you mature. Will Smith was much younger way back in the day. But the thing about it is, it seems like there was just a lot of miscommunications between the higher ups who told Will Smith one story, said that, well, she doesn't want to work there, she's being hard to manage and difficult to kind of work with, and he kind of had that idea that, oh, she's difficult to work with. And that's the one thing that Janet really took home with her, that she became labeled as hard to deal with, and that's something that people gotta be really careful about in the industry. How you address issues, how you communicate, miscommunications. Hollywood, of course, we know it's just full of it, man. It's always all this ups and downs because of miscommunications. It could be management, the higher ups, the CEO. It's a tough world, you know. When you're dealing with any kind of communication, especially when it's production wise, it's important to always remember that you are working with people and to balance, especially when you're managing huge productions and sets. And there's always going to be those issues whereby there's always going to be somebody who's seen as being difficult, but that's in any industry, it's always going to be like that. I was in a corporate job one time and I had a really jackass of a manager and he was just terrible. And there was just a misconception that he built from, which is that I was difficult and I did not listen to managers or management or things like that, which of course is just a lot of BS, you know. You will never really know what the actual story is unless you do your own digging, unless if you do your own research, unless you really kind of have a face-to-face one-on-one chat. And that's what I learned about communication. Have an impeccable line of communication between your departments, between actors, you know, line managers, and especially if you're the director. Make sure you do not just dismiss every issue as something to be dealt with by somebody and you don't really want to get involved in that, because I know directors tend to have that tendency of just not getting involved in, you know, little squabbles here and there. But sometimes it helps to just have somebody wearing a bigger hat to step in there and find out what's really going on, you know. Those are some of the things that go on. So there is a lot of politics in our industry, especially in an industry that seems like it's an industry where nobody cares. Nobody cares about your problems. They just want you to perform. And look, I call that out. I personally do not want to have a production or a set or a place of working where people come in and they feel like they cannot be people, or they cannot have somebody to talk to. I think that's just a lot of nonsense. We're humans, we're people. We gotta have a little grace for each other. Of course, we expect people to perform, but you know, and that still doesn't mean that we're not humans. We're still people. So, with that said, I'm glad and I'm happy that they managed to work it out, because life is too short. You know, it comes a point in time in life where it took them 27 years to reach this point where they could have a conversation. I think it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous even more that Janet couldn't find any work because of the way she was labeled out of this whole entire nonsense. And that's the thing about the industry, is that you can walk out of it totally scathed. You can walk out of it with, reputation, media, and the way they handle information. If you're on the acting side, you've got to be aware of that. How you create a perception around yourself. It's hard. It's a tough industry. And apart from that, also considering she's a woman of color. She's a black woman, which is still relatively difficult even today in this day and age, regardless of Black Panther, regardless of whatever progress African Americans have made or contributions they've made in the industry. It's still really difficult, especially for a black woman. Monique was dealing with the same thing not so long ago. She's been blackballed because she was labeled difficult when she had a follow-up between Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey. Steve Harvey tried to get them to have conversations and talk about it and iron things out. I don't know how far that issue is right now, but it's just one of those things that happen in this industry. It's still hard for African Americans and for black people in general to really kind of find themselves in that. It's just hard, man, enough with it. I don't know what it will take to instill change or positivity. You gotta have a strong resilience to just wanna kick every door that comes your way in order to make it in this kind of industry. Variate your portfolio in a way, don't rely on just one thing to make it. Because it's going to take a lot. I had to get by a lot by working as a graphic designer, video editor, animator. I can work with the camera, within the advertising industry. I can work within corporate. I can do a lot of things. All right, but anyway, look, I hope you guys pick and learn something from this, especially all of you guys trying to get in the industry. Educate yourself about the industry as well before you get into it. But thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Do like, once again, make the algorithm happy. Like the video, subscribe if you may, and hit that notification bell. Do me a solid one, please. It makes the algorithm really, really happy, and who knows, millions of people could watch the video. Once again, thanks for watching. Stopping by. Super.